Good news everyone! In today's video we're taking a look through my complete collection of vintage Futurama memorabilia. Now you might think vintage? Well, a lot of this stuff came out over 20 years ago now, and well, I can't quite believe it myself. So I've pulled together all my fantastic Futurama collectibles, the British magazines, the British comics, my toys, my action figures. There's a whole host of stuff, and I think you're going to absolutely love looking through my early Futurama stuff. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so the first thing we're going to look at from this classic period of Futurama is this one, the horrible gelatinous blob. Now this one was released in 2001, and it was by Dark Horse Comics, so more famous for their comics. They never actually published, of course, a Futurama comic. That was always Bongo, but they did do a few bits and pieces with regards Futurama memorabilia. So this one, you can say it's a touch me if you dare. So if you put your finger in, it actually feels like, I don't know, like a bit of plasticine. It's all sort of gooey. And inside, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to see this, but inside is a very small figure of Bender, who's been like absorbed by the blob. And I believe you could get 3 or 4 different characters at the time that had been absorbed by the blob. So there's a few different ones to collect. Sadly, I only picked up the one which was Bender, because he was, well, he is my favourite character in all of Futurama. So, you know, if anything came out with Bender on, I would generally pick it up. But it's a nice little item, that, and I believe mint in box like this, probably quite collectible. Alongside this, so this is Christmas tree ornaments of all things. So yeah, they call them holiday ornaments, and it's the 3 sort of characters there, Fry, Leela and Bender, but they've got like Father Christmas hats on, or Santa hats on. Fry's got his Santa beard on. And I'm not sure, but I have a funny feeling that these came out as like regular editions and also as a holiday edition. And these were released by More Action Figures. 2001 again. Yeah, More Creations Inc. and More Action Collectibles. That's what they were called. And they did quite a bit of Futurama stuff. And we'll be seeing this today. But there's their Futurama action figure line. But these are really good. I think they're, once again, quite scarce. This was the Brain Slug. So once again, it was a squishy toy and was released by Dark Horse Comics. And this was similar to the gelatinous blob. I can't see anyone inside. On first inspection, I can just sort of see some sort of liquid inside. And there's a Fry at the top there with the brain slug on the side of his face, or his head there. And there's some of the other bits and pieces that Dark Horse published, including one of my all-time favourite Futurama pieces, which is the lunchbox, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But once again, this is one of those ones from it was at 2001. So a very nice piece indeed. So here is the first of the More Action figures, and this one was produced for Wizard magazine, Wizard Publications, which was and they published a magazine called Toy Fair for a couple of years, in fact maybe even longer than that. And Toy Fair was a magazine which would take a look at the action figure market, give you prices, like an up-to-date price guide. I think they sort of ran out of steam, to be honest. There just wasn't enough happening in the world of action figures to warrant publication, but this was one of their exclusives. I know it's like embossed there, 0119. I don't think they were all numbered, but you never know with these. Although it was like an exclusive to Toy Fair, when we had the shop, Purple Haze, we never really found these that difficult to get hold of. So yeah, I don't think it's that scarce, this one, but who knows? I mean, these it's 2001 again. These figures are 21 years old now, and they're certainly starting to show their age, really, you know. And what with Futurama, the new series just been announced, who can tell what's going to happen to this very earliest Futurama memorabilia. So here's the first of the action figures, the 4 main ones that they released, and there's another variant as well. This is the Planet Express. A nice little model, this one. Got a few little accessories with it as well. Quite a nice little one. These are all More Action Collectibles who released these. dated 2000. So incredible to think that these action figures now are now 22 years old. Absolutely astonishing, really, isn't it? Now, as I said, my favourite character was Bender, and there he is. This was the original Bender, and he came with a suicide booth as well. A couple of other little pieces, a bit of robot oil there, and old Fortran beer. It's his favourite beer, wasn't it? Great, great character. Joe DiMaggio doing the voices. So at the time of filming, he's still not confirmed to be doing the voice of Bender when they bring it back, but I do indeed hope so. Some of these have got a tiny little bit of dust on, but brilliant all the same. So let's pop Bender over there. Now, this one was quite interesting because well, not interesting, it's a bit sad really, because the bubble's yellowed. So as you can see, the bubble on this Leela figure has completely yellowed up. Very, very unusual, because it was bought at the same time. It's been stored in the same place, in a box, really. It's not been out on display or anything. It's just, this is yellowed. Now, I've been reliably informed that the reason that these old bubbles yellow is down to a fire retardant that's introduced into the plastic bubble. And figures that were sold within not within the EU, but within the USA, had to have that fire retardant in. Whereas the other ones, of course, were all UK. So maybe, just maybe, this was an American one that got sent over to Diamond Comics, and that's where we got it from. But yeah, great little figure there. And just a variation on the swimsuit Leela. Now the classic Fry. Great stuff. There he is. He's in his little cryo chamber there behind him, and his Lightspeed briefs. Very, very good likeness, and they're good size, these figures as well. I do regret not having a set of them loose, to be honest. That would have been really, really great, but you can't keep everything, and I rarely had room for doubles of stuff, but nice to have all the same. And there was just one more, which was an exclusive to Previews magazine and basically comic shops, and that was Chef Bender. So Bender in his chef's outfit. Apart from that, he was all the same. He had a little baby Bender in the corner there, which is really nice as an accessory. But yeah, Chef Bender, kill all the humans. So the only thing I haven't got, but definitely came out because we sold it in the shop, was this incredible, about 1 meter wide box set with all the four figures in side by side. It was absolutely fantastic, and I really, really regret not picking one of those box sets up, because I imagine it's quite scarce. And as I recall, even though we had it over in the UK, it was an exclusive to the American Tower Records. So that gives you an idea of quite how far back we're talking here. Anyway, that's all the regular action figures. So next we've got to look at the Bendy Bender figures. So these are Futurama Bendy toys, and this was the Bender. And these actually came out in the year 2000, and I think they just preceded the action figures by about a year. So I'm guessing that these were maybe a little bit easier to produce. Once again, these were released by Dark Horse Comics. This one's, because it was distributed in the UK, it's got a Diamond Comics sticker on the side. But yeah, they're pretty fun, these. Once again, they released, I think there was 3 in colour, and they released a couple in like a glow in the dark. So here's Kif. Bit of an unusual character, but I guess he was just easy to make, easy to mould, maybe, Now, once again, this one has suffered from the dreaded bubble yellowing, which is quite unusual. Yeah, so we got Bender, Leela, and Kif. And once again, they mentioned the lunchbox. So here is the Leela. I think this is the best looking one of them all, of these sort of bendy figures. And then they released the same figures again. I can only imagine that they released all 3 of them, although I've only got 2, in this glow-in-the-dark form, which is a bit weird. Now, it says it's a Previews exclusive, and this was a year later, 2001. So I guess it was just a really easy way to cash in, I'm guessing. So there was Leela, and there was a Kif, which was also Previews exclusive. I wonder if Bender was ever done in a glow-in-the-dark form. Don't know. I think if it had come out, I probably would have grabbed it. I wouldn't have ignored it, since I've got the rest of them. Now this is definitely one of my all-time favourite Futurama items, and it's the lunchbox. I really, really like it. This sort of classic, it's done to imitate the sort of classic 50s, almost Flash Gordon style memorabilia, and it is absolutely gorgeous. This was also Dark Horse, and it came out in 2000. There's nothing inside, there's no lunchbox, sadly. There we are, the Dark Horse logo along the top there. And there's another sort of classic 50s B-movie scene there. Really, really fantastic, this. And then got some of the main cast going around the side there. I just love this. Honestly, it's just one of the greatest Futurama pieces ever made, in my opinion. And it's just one of my all-time favourite pieces in my collection, just in general. Just love it. Brilliant. So hopefully I've just got enough room in picture here to show you the metal wind-up range. Now these are really, really fantastic, and these cost about £30 when they came out, and they're in incredibly delicate boxes. They're just made of cardboard, and they really are quite scarce. Dated 2000, this very first one here, and this was the first one to get released. Very, very nice. Obviously it's from it says it's from rocket.com, this particular one, and they made lots of stuff out of metal, which I don't know why, that was their sort of thing, you know. And there he is. None of mine have been out of the box. Wind him up and run for your life. Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. Very, very nice, these, and really nice examples. I can only think must be quite difficult to find, 20 years later. So they also released Bender. I seem to remember Bender and Nibbler came out at the same time. So yeah, Nibbler was also the same range, same company, same year. And Nibbler's got his fans, hasn't he? Little wind up with a big clockwork key there at the back. I mean, I know these are available online, and although I've not really looked up Futurama collectibles because I only ever collected it for the first sort of few years, I do know that these are quite sought after. And then the other one, which came out just a little bit after Bender and Nibbler, was the URL robot, the policeman. Wind him up and watch him trample on your civil rights. And there we are. Very, very nice indeed. The URL robot. And a bit like the action figures, and such was the trend back then. Not that anything's really changed today, but they did release a couple of variations. This one, I believe, is perhaps the most sought after. It's the bright and shiny Bender. This one was quite difficult to get at the time. I believe it came out a little bit later. I wonder if it's dated. It still says 2001. This was the really, really shiny Bender rather than the grey Bender. Good stuff though, eh? And then there was one more. I suppose you could say slightly controversial, but it's the gender Bender. It's a Bender in a dress. He's a real toughie. Pink packaging. There we are, look. Seem to remember that was in one of the episodes, wasn't it? The gender Bender. And I think both this one and the bright and shiny Bender are, really quite collectible, and you just don't see those around anymore. So I think any of the wind-up ones are certainly worth grabbing if you see them, particularly if they're nice still in their boxes. Everyone's favourite Space Pet. He certainly stole the show, didn't he, in a couple of episodes, and was Leela's favourite. Very, very nice vinyl figure, this one. And I don't think it's 2000 again. I don't think this was around too long before it sort of got deleted. There just wasn't enough of it to go around. And it is like a perfect one-to-one. Very, very nice indeed. And also quite a size. That's the thing. I think that's what really makes this, is it's just such a big old item. Fantastic. This is another really, really cool item. This is a can of Slurm. So I'm sure you remember the Slurm episode. It's highly addictive. Fantastic, this one. 2002, 20 years ago, this. And it's a can of Slurm with a set of playing cards inside. Absolutely awesome. Brilliant. It says in the ingredients, a dash of childlike whimsy, 3 scoops of galactic fairy dust, a general sprinkling of Joe de Vere, 12 droplets of Venturian morning dew. Quite scarce, this one, I believe. They did similar Simpsons ones around that time, but the playing cards quite scarce. This is quite sought after as well. So they only ever did one computer game, and it came out on the Xbox. And this is quite collectible. The British or European PAL version, which is this one, is a bit more common than the American NTSC format. But it's collectible because it contains a complete episode, one that was never aired on TV. It's got all the original voice actors, same animation, and just for that alone, the fact that it's got a complete episode, you will want to track this one down. Make sure the disc is in nice condition, and it has to have the instruction booklet as well. A little promo there for the DVD sets. I never bought the DVD sets. I never really keep those. But if you want it complete, that's how it came back in the day as part of my Xbox collection. But highly collectible and worth it alone just for that one episode, which is included in here. Really great, that. Next we got this, which is Futurama Coasters Series 1. I think they planned a Series 2, but I don't think I ever got them. And it's 4 coasters inside. You got the old Fortran. Obviously, Fortran was an old computer language, and Futurama just harks back to that period of the early days of computing. And there are the 4 coasters inside there. Very nice. This is Rick's. This is that company that makes those sort of metal items again. 2002, and like all the Futurama stuff you're going to see here, bar the comics and magazines, which I've got in a little while, these all came out in the first few years of Futurama when I collected it in earnest, because I just loved the show. Next we got a 2-pack of Futurama playing cards. These are sort of clammed together in a plastic like tag thing so they could go on the shelf, but they're quite heavy, and I've never opened them. But inside the actual playing cards, as you can see, the actual playing cards are Futurama artwork cards as well. Once again, same company, the Rick's 2002 ones, and really heavy, this metal tin set. Very nice. Hopefully these will just about fit in. Yes, it's Futurama metal collectibles. So these are metal figures. Now these have been on top of a box, and I need to really get in there with my duster and give these a really good clean, because they've got a bit dusty. But these are metal figures of the Planet Express crew with the Planet Express logo there. Just a little small. They're about 1.5 inches high. This was Rocket USA 2000. And I guess, once again, this is one of those ones that was easier and quicker to produce than the regular action figures. And that's how these got released. Very nice, though. And once again, I have a suspicion that if you find these, you're going to really have to pay, because they're quite scarce. These were brilliant fun. So these are called Pop-Out People, and they did similar for The Simpsons. And these, once again, as you see, they were published by Dark Horse Comics. So what you got was a diorama. There you can see this is the New York City cityscape. New York cityscape. There. And then on the front here, you've got these characters. This is just the classic main cast, first of all. So you've got the main cast with these little stands, and you would pop them out, and then the diorama is separate, and you'd then stick them in front of the diorama like that, and that would create a scene. That'd be really cool. And they did a few of these. So this is particular to the episode Fry in the Slurm Factory, which we just saw the jar of Slurm there. So it's some of the characters from that Slurm episode, and then there's the fantastic diorama, the Slurm production chamber. Brilliant stuff. Then this one is from Put Your Head on My Shoulder, another classic episode. There's Fry with his head there. Good stuff. And then this is the diorama scene, Mercury landscape. Fantastic. This one's from The Christmas Story. All Christmas up there. Christmas time in New York. Love's Labour's Lost in Space. That was the Zach Brannigan episode, wasn't it? Good stuff. The planet Virgon 6. And the last one of these is from episode Hell is Other Robots. And Fry with his afro there. The Fender. And this one is Robot Hell. Brilliant. Now, no idea how sort of collectible these are. I mean, they're certainly, when we had them in the shop, they weren't expensive. I think they're about £3 or £4 a pop, which I suppose was quite dear for back then. But, you know, I mean, how many of them have survived? Did they sell that well? I don't know. 2001. Difficult to tell, isn't it? So that's the majority of the actual memorabilia. But now I've got some of the British comics, because I've already on the channel, in a couple of videos, I've gone through the entire American bongo comic set, literally from one to the very last issue. I've got, I believe, 99% of the British ones to show you now, plus a couple of other interesting magazines that were released around the time the series launched. So let's look at those now. So there was one other piece before we got to the magazines, and that was this. It's the Futurama metal waste paper bin. Now, I've had this, once again, I've had it since it got released, and it's 20 years old now, 2002. And the last time I actually saw one of these, well, the only time I've ever seen one for sale, it was £100. I was like, blimey. Now, as you can see, mine's got a little bit of wear. And that's simply because I use it as a bin. In my den, I've you know, have a carrier bag inside it, and I actually just use it as a bin. But there you go, look, and it's metal, so it's that Rick's products again, who we saw with the other bits and pieces. But I think this is probably quite rare. Not perhaps, if it was mint, unlike mine, which has actually seen actual usage. But it's great, isn't it? Really, really good. So if you ever come across one of those and it's a good price, definitely pick it up, because it's rare and expensive to buy now. Now, before we start on the magazines, I think it would be a perfect time to thank my Patreon and channel member subscribers. Thank you very much, guys and girls. Okay then, so I've got a few bits and pieces which I've never shown on the channel before. These are sort of my British publications and British comics and the odd magazine that was released back in the day. Now, we saw the metal clickers earlier, and look, Clickorama Series 2. It's a little like leaflet for it, but I never had them, you know. Don't know where that's gone from, but may have been a promo thing that was sent to when we had the shot. This is a graphic novel, Futurama-O-Rama. And this is the first graphic novel published by Titan Books in the UK, and it collects the first 4 issues of the American comic. $8.99 retail. As we know, the Futurama comics, they're every bit as good as the Simpsons ones, in my opinion, and I absolutely love them. Great stuff. Now the comics, I've not sorted them into order. They're in a rough order, but they're not actually in order because some of them have got free gifts and things. So we'll just take these as we find them. Although fortuitously, we have come across number 1 first, which is good news. So there is the first one. And you'll recognise, if you've seen the American ones, you'll recognise that cover with them all sort of going up like that. It's like almost like a classic cover, isn't it? It says there's a huge poster inside. Oh, there it is, in fact. And these were just straightforward reprints from the American comics. I believe each issue of this was about half of an American comic, I believe, but don't quote me on that. And this first issue here, dated Volume 1, Number 1, November/December 2002, published bi-monthly by Titan magazines. Now, I haven't got them all, but I've got a fair run of them. I think they got quite scarce to find over here, a bit like the British Simpsons comics. So there's number 2 there. And number 3. So this was crossing over with the Simpsons, the Infinity crossover series, which was really good fun. Number 4. Number 5 there. Always a great sort of cover, that one. Bender is like the Terminator. Hasta la vista, meat bag. For number 6. Number 7. Infinity cover there for number 8. Bender reading number 8, and then so on and so on. Oh, we're quite lucky these. I didn't realise these were going to be in so much order. I thought they were a bit more mixed up. Number 9. Number 10. Now this one's got a little sort of wraparound, like a card wraparound, because it's got a cutout on the back. And this is something quite unique to door hangers, in fact, to British comics. They would, to grab kids' attention on the newsstands, they would often give away freebies like this, and it got worse as time went on. So come the mid-2000s, like from 2005 upwards, when the Doctor Who magazine, the Doctor Who kids comic, was coming out, there was all manner of cover mounts and freebies being given away, and it makes it a nightmare to collect and store the comics long term. Number 11. Thankfully, that didn't really kick in until later on in a big way with this comic. This has got another one here. Look, a free Bender mask. There we are. So you could cut out your Bender mask there. And it's things like that that make this British one, I think, quite desirable. It was only £1.99. I think they were a good price. Number 13 came with, which is still sealed. It's in a plastic bag. And this one came with a little miniature Simpsons comic, one of the Treehouse of Horror ones by the look of it. Nice mini comic. They're always cool. 14 here. Ouchie Boy. That was referring to his belly button. Number 15. Just look at some of the interesting ads on the back here. Hell's Kitchen. Number 16. And I was certain, I don't know if it's in this lot, I hope it is, that the Sky magazine, when Futurama launched, had like a front cover to the Sky mag. I'm really hoping that that's in here, because I haven't looked through these. I've just pulled them out and shown them to you now. Number 17, this is another cool one. So it's got the Simpsons Crossover Crisis 2, and it's also got these like metallic stickers on the front and back there that you could pull off. Once again, making these a little bit more special and something for the completists to collect anyway. Number 18. 19. Classic cover, that from the old 50s sci-fi pulps, and they swipe so many things, the Futurama. They do it gratuitously. They just don't care, do they? Number 20. 21. This is another sealed one for number 22. It says a free cool Futurama poster, and there it is in there. 23. So far I've had the whole run, but I'm certain that is going to fizzle out soon enough. 24. 4 out of 5 aliens recommend Futurama comics. This is another one with a color cardboard cover for the Simpsons Futurama crossover. It's a mobile, and it says part 2 of 2. So I wonder if there was 2 different covers for the issue, the 25th issue. I don't know. Number 26 there. Now, I think we'll finish the magazines before I look at anything else, because I have got some other bits and pieces in here. So here we are, yeah, number 27. Another one with the card cover. This was a design your own cover on this one. And these are much, much bigger than the American comics. The American comics are actually the same size as this graphic novel here. So you can see that the British editions are much, much bigger. And consequently the artwork is bigger. You get to see more of the detail on it, which I really, really like. 28. Another fools, your face here. Number 30, this is another one with it's bagged up. It says Cool Bender and Nibbler Buddies. Oh, poor Zoidberg, not getting the front cover. There they are, look. So you could cut those out. This one's got a cover mount, so this is number 31. And these have got these like spongified stickers, it says on the front here. Which are really nice actually, aren't they? Got the newsreader guy. Oh, he's so funny. So that's 31. 32, nice sort of airbrushed Bender cover there. That's really nice, isn't it? 33. Just about managing to keep these all in shot. This is July 2006. So first missing one now, number 35 now. So we're missing a few of these letters, which I did sort of expect. Here's number 36. It's not even got, it's just got a generic sort of alien glow in the dark keyring, which is a bit pants, that one, isn't it? It's not even Futurama related, that one. 37. You can see how storing these can be quite difficult if you want to keep them complete. 42. 44. That's a nice Zoidberg cover there. Let's pull these down a little bit so we can get to see all the covers in there. 46. 48. So 34. So this is one of the ones which was missing earlier, wasn't it, Lem? And that's because it's got this big thick pen on the side here, which doesn't seem to be Futurama related. It's just like a weird alien-esque pen. And number 38, which is another one which was missing, but it's because it's got this weird rubber bouncing meteor ball. So that's why they weren't quite in position there. But I'm not missing many, but I'm missing a few. And, well, maybe I'll track those down one day. Now, I've just got a couple of other cool things to show you. So we saw this on the back of the action figures here, and it was the Futurama paper doll book featuring the women of Planet Express. And I think this was just like you punch them out and then you dress them up in different outfits. Quite unusual. Not sure. I can't imagine many of these sold, to be honest, but it was one of those ones that was probably really, once again, really easy to produce. Dark Horse Comics, dated 2001. Yeah, it might be quite scarce, that one. And then the very last bit, sadly, the last Futurama item that I can rustle together today in the collection, beyond the comics, which, as I've said, are on another video. This was the Sky View magazine for when the week that Futurama launched. Look at this, Sky One, Tuesday the 21st, 8 p.m. And I was there, I watched it, and I absolutely loved it. I really did. Really, really nice cover there. I was just looking to see if there was an article inside on Futurama. It would be a bit of a con if there wasn't. Yeah, there we are. On Tuesday evenings, every Tuesday and Thursday, Futurama. And there was a little feature on page 16. Let's have a look. Future stars. Here we are. There's Matt Groening in a spacesuit. There we are. Animated fun for everyone. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed looking through my vintage Futurama collection. I've certainly had a blast looking through it myself. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage retro action, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.